آتش سوزی.
چای را آتش زدی؟
آره 4 سال پیش.
40 سال پیش نمیشه همچین؟
نه 3-4 سال پیش.
My name is Shahram Mokri. I'm a film director and I am here in this festival with my last film, Careless. I made it in Tehran. I think in all of my movies, I'm always talking about cinema, maybe about different genre. For example, in Fish and Cat or in Invasion, I choose pieces of cinema world. But in Careless Crime, maybe it's different. My spotlight is on the Iranian movies. I know it may be difficult for the audience out of Iran understand every point in the movie, but it was important for me. My last one is about the history of cinema in Iran. You can see a lot of posters in the cinema lobby in the Careless Crime. They are about Iranian movies again, and the story in them is about cinema again. It's a connection between history of Iranian movies together in this movie. In the beginning of movie, for example, you can see a part of Harold Shah movie,
The Crime of
Careless. Yeah.
There are many connections to Iran cinema. It's a very delicate topic, and you manage with your own style this spiraling system. So how was for you to approach this film, specifically this film, with this style?
You know, this film is so important for Iranian audience and a young generation in Iran, because when we are talking about a new wave Iranian filmmakers, we are talking about Masoud Kimiai, the director of this film. His movie Qaysar, it's a name for a main character in that movie, is an important movie in the new wave of Iranian cinema before the revolution. And you know, this filmmaker is so important for a young generation of filmmaker in Iran. And also, this film was on the screen in the Abadan and Tehran, different cities in Iran. And after the Cinema Rex tragedy, where we talk about it in this film, someone said this tragedy was started for push revolution in Iran. Now, in these days, after 40 years, it's a question for me. What is different between this time and 40 years ago? With this question, I am in this movie, Careless Crime.
In your film and with your style, you show the ambivalence, I will say, of every aspect of films, of political topics, and the human aspect also. Mm-hmm. And is it probably accepted or not by the older generation?
You know, maybe for me the history is like a Photoshop layers, you know. You can turn off some layers and you can see the another layer in the background and the another layer in the background. I agree with you. When you are we are look at the final image, maybe something is different between now and 40 years ago. But just you should put down some layers and you can see what happens in the past. You know, it's a continuous situation.
With this film, you not only interpret our own time, but it's also a sort of interpretation of this time. So, in the sense to create another reading.
Yeah, I agree with you. In Iran, everything is new. You know, always workers are in the street and they are make new streets, make new buildings. Everything is new. It's so different with here. They are look like very new. But what is inside? What is new? Exactly what's new in the idea, in the mind of people. You know, when you are looking to the different generation in Iran, for me, it's not a big change.
from the very beginning of your film this fact that you put images and the people are in images, and this multiplication of images, and it's also the reference to the films. But there is something that struck me, something that I was catch from the very beginning, and it's something that bound with one of the main protagonists.
Takbali.
Takbali,
Yeah,
exactly.
It's not easy name.
So there is some cinematic characteristic typical for him, and that is light coming into the camera.
Yeah.
Suddenly there is light in the camera and you see nothing. And this is a sort of break. So is it this your way of working?
You know, first of all, I choose 3 different ways for mise-en-scène and decoupage and directing between these 3 layers of story. One of them about the Takbali and his friends. They want to burn the cinema. The another one is about the audience. They are wait for start a movie. And the another one is a careless crime on the screen. You know, for me, they are 3 layers of story, and I choose 3 different way for mise-en-scène. For example, the Takbali's story. For this story, I have a follow camera, a lot of light directly in the camera, because I think about this story, what happened in the Rex tragedy. We don't have a lot of information, and everything is not clear for us after 40 years. What happened? You know, we have 3 different stories about this tragedy. 2 of them are very political, and the another one is Takbali's story. Same my movie. We don't have a clear options exactly what happened in this case. And for me, when I want make it in front of the camera, that lies direct in the lens of my camera. You don't have a lot of information about it, framing and something like that.
تو مریضی چیه؟
اعصاب.
نه دقیقش رو بگم.
آتیش سوزی.
چای را آتیش زدی؟
آره 4 سال پیش.
To control all the things, because it's a sort of mathematical system like in the previous films, and in this case, okay, you edit, so there are some cuts, but exactly, I mean, there is a sort of maîtrise, this sort of control. This control, this effect of control, gives me the sensation of destiny or a sort of determinism.
You know, it's important for me, experience for audience and movie. It must same and experience for filmmakers and actor and actress in the movie. I'm very near to my destination in the filmmaking. It's important for me when audience is watching the movie, he can feel this hard mise-en-scène. He can feel this hard situation. And also in Careless Crime, I control everything, all of dialogues and all characters in the layer and layer and layer. I think it's a way for make a same experience with audience.
There is this moment of magic.
Yeah. You know, it's a magic between 2 different layers in the story, and in another hand, I'm thinking about make a impossible image in cinema. You know, look like maybe Maurice Escher's painting, impossible image, that perspective in that paints. I want to make something like that, impossible images in the cinema in front of my camera. I'm talking about the form and about time.
This impossible image you're speaking about in cinema is also speaking probably about something almost impossible now that concerns cinema. In your film, I have the impression it is also an homage to cinema, to importance of cinema, and it was certainly like this 40 years ago. It is still like this now.
In Iran, we don't have Netflix and we don't have Amazon Prime or something like that, because you know about limited internet and censorship members and all of things in Iran. And also, we don't have cinema halls for screen American movies, Hollywood movies, and the market is just for Iranian movies. Okay, in this situation, I think if you want or you're not, cinema is important, you know, for young generation, because they don't have any place for going in free time and something like that. So cinema halls are important yet for Iranian audience.